Welcome back to What Are Tea Nibs with General Disturbance. Well, this battle started already, but what we're looking at is an FV215b, the 183. This is the Tier 10 British tank destroyer, armed with a 183mm gun. It's designed to wipe out Soviet tanks of the IS series after they were first seen in the victory parade in Russia. It was built on a Conqueror chassis. In fact, they only built one mock-up of it. They were going to build many more, but they developed missiles that could do the job instead of this tank, and so it never got into production. Now this one was on the northwest spawn of Fjords and is under the command of Captain Ashstorm, and he's headed south towards the pass on the west side of the map. And he's got a Conqueror company as well as a KV4 just slightly further back. And our first opponent's turned up, and it's also a Conqueror and a Lerva. Well, Captain Ashstorm is a Tier 10 tank destroyer. This FV215b is no longer available, unfortunately. It's actually been superseded by the Badger. But he's sitting in the bushes waiting for the outcome of the battle up ahead. See what happens. See if one of the enemy comes around the corner, and then he's going to hit them. Okay. We're ready to go. Looks like the Lerva is the first. Now he's been spotted. They know he's here, but they're ignoring him at the moment. They've taken out the Conqueror and they're coming up for him. And he fires a round of Hesh ammunition into the Lerva, picks up 429 hit points. This tank uses high explosive squash head. And what happens is the round impacts on the tank and it flattens to form a kind of pancake, which then explodes and it breaks off huge chunks of metal on the inside of the tank, which then kill the crew. So it's a very effective weapon which actually uses shockwaves to kill the enemy. Although I should say that the Hesh round is rather expensive. And unfortunately there we lost the KV4. So it's just Captain Ashstorm now to defend against this Lerva. He's moving to try and get hull down. He doesn't want to get it hit again, but he's had to expose himself, and yep, that's it. That's what happens. You get hit by a Hesh round. 1,206 hit points of damage, and Captain Ashstorm drops below the ridgeline there, which means they can't fire back at him. Moving up. It's got a 23.73 second reload. That's almost as long, in fact longer than the KV2. But it's loaded. It's ready to go. Now he's using pudding and tea to speed up the reload. It also improves the aiming as well. And that Conqueror's dropped below the ridgeline. He's trying to stay out of sight until he's ready to shoot. He doesn't want to take him on his own. In fact, that's probably a wise decision, because given that he's now only got 81% of his health and could lose most of that in one shot from Captain Ashstorm, I think he's a bit cautious about getting close. But he's poking up, trying to get his gun above the ridgeline. Here we go. Now, Captain Ashstorm, is he going to fire at the turret, or is he going to wait for the body to appear? Well, he's just been hit in the rear by a Progetto 46, which is the Tier 8 Stallion, but he wipes out that T-34 for 481, and he's now moving forward, and he's now got the rock behind him, but unfortunately the Progetto's moved up, and he's trying to get behind Captain Ashstorm. And Captain Ashstorm's almost loaded. He's going to shockwave this Progetto with one round. And he does. 191. That's it. Don't tangle with me. You'll get a round in you. You will never come back. We're 2 tanks down, but Captain Ashstorm has now got 3 kills. He did lose a lot of hit points to that Progetto with a 363 hit point round from that Conqueror too. And the Conqueror's dropped below the ridgeline again because he knows what happened to the Progetto. He knows that despite the fact that he managed to get a good hit into Captain Ashtorm, in fact more than one, the fact of the matter is that one round from Captain Ashtorm would be enough to kill them. And in fact, actually, Captain Ashtorm's asked the Emil, who's directly behind him, to watch his back. There's the Emil. There's the Conqueror. They are now down to just 3 tanks on their team. There are still 7 of the enemy alive. This is going to take a big effort because Captain Ashtorm has only got 15 rounds of ammo. 10 rounds of Hesh, 5 rounds of standard AP. But it is 183mm rounds. You can see that the enemy are actually now at the cap. He's moving round. Here he comes. Oh, there was an opportunity there to shoot, but the Conqueror is teasing him. That's it. Yep. Goodbye, Conqueror. Wasn't very clever about that because he did expose his lower plate just briefly, and Captain Ashtorm was able to put a round straight through it. That's the end of his game. He was doing a good job of remaining hull down, but these tanks are in a similar situation. They're about to get wiped out at long range. Jagdtiger, and he's gone. 404 hit points. Captain Ashton pulls back to reload, side scraping the rock. The Emil's with him, but he's trying to get around the corner as well. We want to give him space, so Captain Ashton's going to go the other side, try and use the Progetto wreck as well. Doesn't want to come fully out. The enemy is capping. We've got a Skoda up near the cap. Oh, good. He's spotted the enemy. It's an Udes. Dialing in. This should finish it. Yep. And he's gone. 246. That's his 6th kill. There's only 3 enemy remaining. And one of those is an M4A1 Reveillerice. The other 2 are RT. In fact, we can deal with the RT. It was just standard AP rounds. We don't need to use the Hesh. But the Reveillerice, well, let's see if we can find him. He was last seen near the cap, but I doubt if he's there anymore. There's only 2 left on Captain Ashtorm's team. The Emil and him. So it was nice of the Skoda to spot for us to get that Udes. Without him, he couldn't have spotted. So a big shout out to Skoda for doing that. I always like to see a medium tank driver or a heavy tank driver who has the courage to go spot for another team member who's got the gun to actually do the job. Now you can see that the turret on the FV215b, it's got quite a wide arc, but it has got limits on how far it can turn around. Now he's been spotted. Okay, so somewhere around us there's an enemy. I think they're up in the trees up there, and I think it may have been one of the RT. Yes, it is one of the RT. There he is. Okay. Oh, we're going to use the Hesh round, and he's gone. 205. That was an expensive way to use the Hesh round, actually. AP would have been fine, actually. I think that would have wiped him out. Well, that GWE 100 would have reported exactly where we are. So it's a pretty good bet that the Batchat 155-55 is also lining him up for a shot. Now, Captain Ashtorm's asked the Emil to go towards the cap area and see if he can find the Reveillerice. Now, the Emil's easily capable of dealing with the Reveillerice on his own, but there's a possibility the Reveillerice will try and set up an ambush. Okay, they're both going to go back to the cap the same way. I think Captain Ashtorm believes that because the enemy went the GWE was on his way to the cap, that he thinks the others are there on their way there as well. I would be tempted to go to the enemy cap and start capping there. Oh, they found the Rebel Arise, and the Emil's starting to exchange fire with him. Of course, this means that the enemy probably doesn't know where Captain Ashton is at this moment. And the Rebel Arise is almost down, but he is putting up a good fight, and the enemy arty appears to be hitting Emil 1, which means that he must be close by. He must be close, because you can't loop a shell over this mountain into a tank hiding next to the edge. So he must be in the cap area. There's the Rebel Arise. Oh, he missed! And he has been spotted, pulling back to reload. Oh! Now, where did he get hit from? Unbelievable. He actually got hit from the peninsula. I thought that the enemy couldn't hit you from this particular corner. But it appears that the line of shot indicates that he's around the other corner. And the Rebel Arise has just been killed by the Emil, which means we're now relying on the Emil to find the last remaining RT, the Batchat 155-55. Now hopefully Captain Ashton will switch to the Emil view so we can actually see what's going on. I would advise, if you are in a battle and you do get wiped out, do switch to your nearest teammate if you can, to follow the battle until its conclusion, because that will make a complete video. But we haven't switched to the Emil yet. Okay, that's good. Now, Captain Ashton's following the Emil. He has lost most of his health. He's only got 138 hit points. Now, one round from the Batchat 155-55 with its 155mm howitzer would be enough to wipe out this Emil very, very quickly. There he is! He's been spotted. He's going to try a shotgun. And... oh, he fluffed his shot! Oh, no! They've both died! Oh no, it's a draw! Unbelievable. They were so close to getting a win. And here's the end of battle result. It is a draw. It's an ace tanker, a Reaper badge for getting at least consecutive kills with a single shot. I lost count of how many he got with a single shot, but he certainly got 3, which is what you need to get the Reaper medal. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a duelist medal for taking down 2 tanks that did damage to him during the battle, which obviously would be the Conqueror and the Progetto. And he also picked up a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 23 in that battle, a High Caliber for dealing the most damage, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he got 7 in the end, and a win rate of 8042. But sadly, it was a draw. The Emil did ram kill. He wasn't able to get enough force into his shot to actually kill the Batchat with his first hit on target, and the Batchat missed his shotgun and tried to go for the ram, but in doing so, with the FV with the Emil being at such low health, obviously it wiped out both vehicles at the same time. You don't ram a heavy tank with an SPG if you can help it, because obviously you're going to come off worse, unless of course it's the Fifi, which is based on a heavy tank. So it is a draw. So let's have a look at the team scores. Well, Captain Ashton came top on damage, 5,481 hit points. The nearest that the enemy could get was 3,626, and the T95 on his team managed 3,160. When it came to kills, he got the highest number again, 7. The highest the enemy could get was the Batchat 25 ton. He managed 4, and their Batchat 155-55 got 4 as well. And when it came to base XP, it was Captain Ash Storm who managed 794 for that battle. The nearest the enemy could get was 606 from the Batchat 155-55, and of course the Emil one on his team managed 680. He fired 10 rounds during the battle. He got 9 direct hits, 9 penetration, 0 splash. Did damage of 5,481 hit points, of which 650 were at more than 300 meters. He received 11 hits during the battle. 6 were penetrations, 5 were non-penetrations, and 1 hit was the splash damage one, and I think that was the last one actually, the Batchat, who finished him off. He blocked damage of 1,990 hit points. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 7 of the enemy, and he also got 34 defense points by resetting the cap when the enemies were capping. He earned, on a premium account, 53,726 credits, and he got 5,247 credits because the Courageous Resistance award, which is for getting an epic medal in a losing battle or a drawing battle. That brought his total to 58,973 credits. But because the squash head ammunition is really expensive, very expensive indeed, he had his repair and consumables, the pudding and tea, he actually suffered a loss of 64,014 credits for this battle. And of course he fired premium ammo throughout. Everything was premium. He did receive 5 bonds for the battle for the high caliber of the Top Gun. And he also earned 1,191 XP, plus 663 XP for the Courageous Resistance, 93 XP because this is now a premium vehicle, and he picked up a personal reserve bonus for 927, that's 50%, which meant that he also took away 2,874 experience points. So he aced the FV215b. It was an expensive way to ace it with huge amounts of hesh. But it was sad at the end that he didn't get the win because he did work very hard to get it, especially considering he was facing off against those 3 enemy heavy tanks on the corner and managed to whittle them down until they were all gone, despite the fact that he was assaulted by that Progetto and then managed to take out so many of the others of the enemies. But in the end, it just wasn't to be. That Batchat was just too good, and I suspect that Batchat may have rammed the Emil on purpose to kill both of them so that it would end up as a draw, because he knew that if the Emil reloaded and fired again that he would be toast. And so because he had a massive long reload, and he fluffed his shotgun, and you shouldn't do that with your shotguns. You should get really close to the enemy, make sure that you cannot miss with your gun, that way the enemy will go down. But maybe he'll learn that for another day. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.